Hey, welcome to Classic Car Garage, the Classic Car Restoration How-To Television Show. Thanks for joining us. Well, as you saw there in the beginning of the program, I was driving that beautiful 68.5 California Special Mustang. Now, that was our first project car here on Classic Car Garage. We showed you the resto of that car in 13 weeks, but in reality, it took better than 6 months and a little more money than what we'd planned. So let that be your first lesson. Plan plenty of time and plenty of cash. On this series, though, we're going to go back another decade, back to the 50s, to the Tri-5 Chevy era, 55, 56, and 57 Chevys. Our project car this time is a 56 Chevrolet Sedan Delivery, and along the way, we're going to show you all the tips and the techniques that'll make your resto go a lot easier. And joining us again, Tom Horvath of Tom's Custom Auto Body in Anaheim, California. Tom's got all the tips and the techniques, the pros. Also, the restoration guru, Jim Richardson, is with us on this series. Jim, each week, is going to have his Eastwood Products Resto Tip segment, and he's got a lot of neat things to show you. Well, Tom is over right now with a lift, checking out that 56 Chevy Sedan Delivery. Let's go over and see what we're up against. Hey, Tom, good to see you again.
Hi, Jeff. Good to see you.
Hey, what do you think of our project car so far?
I think it's a neat car.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot easier, I think, than the last one we did, which was that 68.5 California Special Mustang. That was really a basket case, but I got to tell you, that turned out to be a beautiful car. And I think this is going to be a beautiful car as well, too. Well, the first thing, I guess, is the general question, Tom. What do you think of what we've got here?
I think we've got a really nice, solid car to start with here.
We're lucky here on the West Coast to have these types of cars. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this car has an oxide primer on it, and it looks as if it's been dip stripped.
Yes, it does. You can see the phosphate that's bleaching or leaching out here of the metal surfaces, and the car looks like it's been sitting for quite some time now.
The problem is that over the period of time, this will continue to come out. And of course, you don't want to put a paint job on a car like this and have it ruined by this phosphate coming out.
Yes.
So how would you clean up the sheet metal on a car like this?
What we do is we've got to remove all this paint. I don't necessarily agree with media blasting the outside of the car. So what we do is we chemically strip all the paint off the outside. A little labor intensive, but it's a safe way to do it,
right,
because we don't want to make any more bodywork for ourselves. We chemically strip all that off, and I'll show you how we do that, Jeff. And then we take it to a shop like Ossie Brothers here in Anaheim,
right,
and he will walnut shell this car inside and out, all the places that we didn't get the red oxide off.
Now, this is a car that's worth doing all this to. This is
Absolutely.
a 56 Sedan Delivery. Started out life here in the West Coast as an ambulance, and it's a rather rare car. Out of the 3 years, only 8,800 of these were ever made. This being an ambulance, too, there are some unique things about it. We look up top, you can see where the lights of the siren were at one time. But what you were doing here when we first saw you here this time is actually marking some items here. It looks like you're marking where you've got to do some work.
We've got a little dent right there. And again, I've got some really neat tools that I want to show you and how we can pull those out. Really unique, brand new tools that are just come out on the market that'll help us on removing all those dents. We've got a little high spot down here,
right,
so we're going to have to work on these little areas. I'm going over the whole car with the palm of my hand just to feel if, you know, where the dents and dings are. And this car doesn't have a whole lot.
No, from the feel of it, as you said, I can feel this low spot here, I can feel the high spot here. But all in all, it is a pretty straight car. Obviously, we've got a corner to deal with here, and obviously as well, too, there's a rocker panel missing. It is a West Coast car, but as the old saying goes, it doesn't rain in Southern California, which isn't quite right. Occasionally it does. Water can get down into these areas here and actually cause some rust down under here. So we've got to replace the rocker on it. Now, tell me a little bit about these panels over here, too. This is unique to this car, and these have got to be pretty straight, don't they?
Yes, it does, Jeff. These are really unique panels to these cars, and they have to be really, really nice and straight.
And again, a little bit of surface rust here at the bottom, but the walnut blasting will take care of that. And as we move around here to the back of the car, too, again, palm of the hand shows that this is in pretty good shape. Looks like you've got maybe a little bit of lead work to do up here.
Yeah, and we'll go through the process of that too, Jeff. We'll take that lead out, retreat that area, and re-lead that.
And as we move down here, some perforated sheet metal, and it looks like you're going to cut that out, huh?
Yeah, we're going to completely remove that, and then we'll butt weld a new patch in there.
and crimp this back on here. Now it looks like that this tail panel has been replaced at one time too, because it looks like this was done after the red oxide was put on it.
And you can notice it's got a little surface rust on there, but that's not a problem because the walnut shell will take that off.
And these mounts here tell me the body's been off the car. The tailgate here though looks pretty good. We have kind of a dent right here which will mark if you've got the pin there. Sort of an oval one right about there, but all in all this is in pretty good shape. Now the owner of the car tells me he's got all the parts to it with the exception of a couple things. We'll need to get some glass for it, and I can't even remember the other part, but I'm sure that we'll find out what that is. But this gate looks like it's in pretty good shape here, so not a whole heck of a lot we've got to do to this. All in all, Tom, scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the most primo project car, 10 being a basket case, what do you think this scores as?
Probably a 2. This is a great car.
So this is a very good project car to restore. Well, that's it. That's what Tom says. It's not going to be as hard as the other car was. When we come back here on Classic Car Garage, we'll continue the evaluation of our 56 Chevy Sedan Delivery. You stay with us. Well, we're back here in the Classic Car Garage with Tom Horvath as we continue the evaluation of our project car. Well, Tom, the first thing comes to mind here is this hood. What do you think of this one?
Well, luckily, Gary Howard, the owner of this car, was able to find a new hood. This is a very, very difficult repair, and I didn't want to have to go there unless we had to. And since Gary was able to find another hood, we're going to just replace this hood.
Right, and Gary was very lucky too because this hood is exclusive to the 56 Chevys. He called Classic Chevy International down in Florida. They are one of the leading suppliers of 55, 6, and 7 Chevy parts insofar as this sort of thing goes, and lucky to find a hood for this. But if some of our viewers are not as lucky, how would you have gone about repairing something like this?
Well, you'd have to cut out this entire area where it's rusted through, and there's probably quite a bit of interstructure damage there too. So you have to rebuild all the interstructure, and then you very carefully have to butt weld this patch back in because it's exposed on the other side. You'll be able to see this, and then metal finish it and repair it that way without warping the hood.
A lot of labor and a lot of money goes into something like this. That's where the money comes into something like this, and that's the reason why you want to replace this as opposed to repair it.
Yes.
Luckily though, our fenders are in pretty good shape here, just a little bit of surface rust. We got a little place right there, not rusted through. The eyebrows look good. I think we're a winner on these fenders, right?
The fenders are in really good shape. As you said, we've got a little bit of metal there we've got to replace, but that's no big deal.
Good. Well, what do you say we put the car in the air and check out the underside?
All right, Jeff.
Well, Tom, that clunk certainly makes me feel good. That means that the safety latch is engaged on this lift, right?
Yes, it does.
Now, this is the Backyard Buddy from Backyard Buddy out of Niles, Ohio. It's a 4-poster lift, and this one will hold about 6,000 pounds. And it's actually a pretty nice tool, right?
This is a great tool. It's always nice to have the right tools to do the right job.
Right, and a high ceiling, too. Let's get under the car and see what we're dealing with here.
All right.
Boy, Tom, I haven't seen one of these this clean in a long time.
This car's in great shape. Most of these 5, 6, and 7s have this lower panel here is crushed in because people don't jack the car up properly, but it doesn't look like a jack's even been underneath this car.
I don't think it ever has. Being an ambulance, obviously this is a very low mileage car. It came from a small town, so it wasn't in use that much, and I don't think a jack really has ever touched this. And it was very regularly maintained, and I'll tell you, all in all, this frame looks in pretty good shape, doesn't it?
It's in great shape. A little surface rust, but we're going to remove that when we have it sandblasted, and then we'll send it out to the powder coaters.
Right, and I've had cars from back east in which a lot of this is rusted out, and boy, I tell you, if you don't have the right car that's worth it to restore, that's a lot of work to weld in new steel here.
Yeah, luckily in California we don't have to mess with any of that kind of stuff.
No, and this is a West Coast car, as is testament to this floor pan here too. Look at that. That is so super clean. A little bit of the phosphate leaching out here as we said earlier, but really we don't have that much work here on this floor either, do we?
Not at all.
Just
nice
clean
solid
it up
car.
and paint it again.
Yep.
We want to put a floor pan in, we'll get a car from Ohio, right? Nothing against Ohio, that's where we're both from.
Yeah.
When we come back here on Classic Car Garage, we're going to give you some tips on organizing and planning your restoration. Don't go away.
In
this week's Viewer's Garage is this 40 Ford Woody Deluxe wagon owned by Norm Pratt of Los Angeles, California. This is the result of an 8-year restoration of this rare classic. Everything is bone stock, just as it rolled off the line in 1940. Norm enjoys driving the car to shows and just for fun now and again. Thanks for the pictures, Norm. Now, if you've got a classic you want us to see, send your pictures to us here at Classic Car Garage. Welcome back to Classic Car Garage. Before we leave you today, we've got a couple of new products we want to show you. The first comes from Pit Pal Products. What this is a very rugged aluminum table that was originally designed for racers who needed tools and tables and things that they could take out to the racetrack that weren't terribly heavy, but were also going to be rugged, and that's what this is. As you can see, the work surface of this table rotates down flat like this, and these rugged aluminum tubular legs will adjust up and down or come off completely so that they can hang on the wall of your race truck or they can hang on the wall of your garage, and it really combines durability and ruggedness with lightweight, again from Pit Pal Products. This one measures 16 inches by 30, and they make these in about 3 other sizes, as well as a host of other products that are perfect for racers or people like you and me who need a little extra space in their garage. Now, speaking of space and saving time and so forth, take a look at this. This is the California Water Blade. Comes from the folks at the California Car Cover Company in Chatsworth, California. They gave us the car duster. What it's designed to do here is it works sort of like a squeegee. We've colored our water blue to show you a little bit better, but with one stroke, it will remove 90% of the standing water on your car's surface, and it won't hurt it either because of this specially patented T-groove here, which is less abrasive than a terry cloth towel. This is also made of medical grade silicone, so it is super, super soft. And this retails for about $19.99 from the California Car Cover Company in Chatsworth, California. And we've also mounted our fender on top of this device here. This is called the Time Saver Tools wing thing from Time Saver Tools in Orange, California, and it's perfect if you've got to do body work on your car. Well, that's just about all the time we've got for you today on Classic Car Garage. We hope you've enjoyed our show. We invite you to join us again next week when Tom, Jim, and I will tackle that 56 Chevy Sedan Delivery. Till then, I'm Jeff Shade, wishing you good luck with your restoration.